Don't drive fast, you disappear. Set up sheet tape to the dash. Tune by code and a flash of cash. Sweat drips down while knuckles burn. This ain't practice, it's my turn. Grip the wheel, feel the grind. Chasing ghosts through the online mind. Every lap a brand new war. I ain't lifting anymore. Full send nation, red line ride. Fuel on fire, hearts collide. Triple screen thunder breaking the chain. We don't quit, we live insane. In gears we trust. In rubber we pray. For every wreck, another day. You better hold that line, AJ. Full send, full send. Full send, full send. Full send nation, flag held high. Daytona dreams will never die. Stevens Motorsports built to win. Light that fuse and send it again. Full send nation, crank that sound. Engine scream, the world spins round. From the grid to the finish flame, we own the night. Remember the name. Oh, yeah. Stevens Motorsports. Full send forever. Engines live, telemetry synced. Stevens Motorsports, lock it in. Fuel in my veins, fire in my chest. Every heartbeat's louder than the rest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is week number 6. And you know what that means. It's Tuesday night. We're here at Kansas Speedway for the 87 Legends cars tonight. We've got about 24 cars in this field. And we're probably going to see some kind of racing that we haven't seen a lot of in the 87s recently. And I think you're going to see why here in a second once we get some race info up. Air temp is about 84 degrees tonight. 120 degrees on the track, so it's going to be loose. I've already talked to a few of the guys that ran last night. They said that it is a bear to keep underneath you. Couple in that with a 9-mile-an-hour wind, things are going to get a little on the strange side as the race goes on tonight. 90 laps here at Kansas. We've got 2 sets of tires like usual. And don't forget, if you're into the 87s racing, hit that Discord link at the bottom of the box here. That'll get you into the Legends Racing Network Discord. We kind of talk everything from official to unofficial stuff with the 87s and ideas that guys have. It's a little bit easier to communicate via the Discord than it is via the forums, but we try to do most of our voting over there. So, but yeah, like I said, we've got a full field tonight of skilled drivers, so it should be pretty good. It was a 40.95 for the SOF tonight. So Ben Forrester with a plus 450 on FanDuel if you want to get those bets in. That's what Mr. Conley is saying. We've only got about another minute of qualifying left, and I don't see James Conley on my list. I think he might be scared. Sorry, James, I had to. Who else we got in here? I mean, we got a lot of usual suspects. JD McHaley makes the top split for the first time in 2 weeks. I know he was pretty pumped for that. Who else do we got in here? Wonder if we'll see any paybacks from last week's race. If you haven't watched, go check that out, because Darlington was last week. Does Ben Forrester save enough fuel like he tried to do at Darlington? I don't think it's necessarily possible here. If we were at Nashville Super Speedway, a little bit easier to pull off. Who else? We got some names in here I haven't seen before, which is good. We like new faces. And I do believe we are done with qualifying, so we're going to get this off the screen. We're going to get your grid up, and we'll go with that. We've got Cale Spicer sitting on the pole with a 33.071. Chris Yankee going to be to his outside. Kirk Clapper starts third. Trev Quessenberry is fourth. Connor Walbeck fifth. He had a hard night last night. We'll see if he can regroup and move forward from here. Alexander Stoker is going to start in sixth. Tyler Hampton is seventh. CJ Clark is eighth. Aiden Haller, the bowling ball, starts ninth. To his outside, you've got Ben Forrester. Corey Cook starts 11th. Kohler McGillen is in 12th. Moving back a little bit further, John Burris starts 13th. JD McHaley on his outside in 14th. Kenneth Pikus is 15th. Brandon Barnes 16th. Joe Sullivan going to start in 17th. Tom Gomda is outside in the 18th. Eric Winkelspect in 19th. Ian Lane is 20th. Bradley James starts 21st. Bryce Dickman is 22nd. Craig Marty is 23rd. And Nick Martin starts 24th. Let's get this off screen. We'll get some things up on screen and get some racing under our belts here any minute now. Well, I do believe this is going to be a tire saving kind of night. We'll see how it goes for a lot of these guys. I'd expect to watch your two front runners, but keep an eye on the number 2 car of Mr. Ben Forrester that you just saw grid up. Tom Gom had a hell of a race last night in top split, so we'll see if he can make it forward. Oh, damn, James, that sucks. Yeah, you got Dago Week coming up real quick. I think we've got Willow Springs next week, which that'll be a fun one. I actually really enjoy racing that track in this car, so. Also, anybody watching, if you can tell me if the car sound is too low or too high. I had some guys say that the car sound was too low before, so just kind of let me know where that's at once we get racing here. Looks like everybody's making it off of pit road cleanly. Not very long on the pace lap, so pace car will duck off here very shortly. Cale Spicer going to bring this thing to the start. And I got to imagine Cale's going to want to try to get away from these guys pretty dang quick. There goes your pace car. Cale gonna hold him. Kind of shocked. Down to the apron he goes. And a lot of people following too. We'll see how long that holds out, as I saw a 3 wide back by John Burris already. They're back down to 2. JD McHaley looking to try to move forward back there, but Cale Spicer going to check out a little early with, ooh, somebody got the wall there coming off of turn number 2. Single file for the top 3. Trev Quessenberry hung out on the outside. Connor Walbeck to his inside. Well, we got the 17 of Alex Stoker. Aiden Haller back there in the 8 car as well. I don't know how many guys are going to want to really race it out this early. This is one of those tracks that is known to go full length green. Let's bump that up just a little bit more. See if that helps, James. But it's a little early to start really wanting to race with this thing. If it gets to a point that it's late in the run, ooh, the 17 just pulls up in front of the number 3 Earnhardt car. I'm trying to see who that is. I think that was CJ Clark. I keep bumping the volume up, guys. But you're going to kind of want to wait until you're about lap 20 to really get this thing racy. Otherwise, you're not going to have many tires left. Is Chris Youngky's going to go to the lead underneath Cale Spicer. I can get my mouse to move. Youngky takes the lead. Clapper going to try to follow. Too wide for quite a ways. Trev Questenberry going to put it 3. Gets into the quarter panel of Cale Spicer down into 1. But it's 2x2 behind Youngky. All the way back to just past Joe Sullivan. You got to go all the way back to the 20th of Ian Lane to even see a single file that far back. These guys are packed up like it's a next-gen race almost. Youngky continues to lead Spicer in tow, and it's a fight between Questenberry and Clapper over the 3rd position. Let's try something a little different as we get ready to come out of turn number 4. That actually almost gives you a better view than Talladega does. Youngky continuing to lead Spicer. And it looks like Questenberry's not quite clear of Clapper. I'm waiting for somebody to hit that wall going down into turn number 1, quite honestly. Not a whole lot of movement otherwise. It looked like we had a blinker back there. Not sure who that was in that PPG car. Very, very tight. I mean, you could throw a blanket over these guys, really. I think all the way back to about the 14th position, it's basically under a second, which is kind of shocking unless these guys are really slowing it up quite a bit. See John Burris kind of lurking back there, back by JD McHaley. Questenberry trying to get a run on the outside of Youngky. He's at his door at this point. Does he make it past before we get to turn 1? I don't think he will. Almost side by side as we enter turn number 1. Let's see if the battle for the lead heats up as Questenberry's got the run off the high side. He does take over the lead momentarily, but I don't know if he'll hang on through 3 and 4. Running that middle to high lane, it's going to let those tires heat up a lot more. And I don't know if he'll have a lot come midpoint of the race. It looks like he's already getting a little loose in the tri-oval. Still side by side. 3 wide back by John Burris. John top of 3 right now as they come off of turn number 2. Corey Cook looking to move through the field back there in the green 61 car. Corey on the move underneath Ben Forrester back to the lead. Questenberry to the outside of Yankee. He's still just kind of hanging there. I think Chris is just kind of riding, not really pushing, letting the bottom roll to him. Be a smart idea anyways. Try to save as much tire as you can. Let the guys on the top side burn it up. Questenberry ahead just a little bit as we head down into turn number 3, and he takes turn 3 really wide. It's going to let Yankee come back to the bottom. Cale Spicer just waiting to see somebody make a mistake. This is probably some of the closest racing we've had all season outside of a super speedway, really. Because usually this place gets pretty single filed out pretty quick, and we're just not seeing that out of that top lane. They may have something figured out, or heck, it may just be loose enough to allow it to really happen. I'm seeing a lot of shuffling in the back. You got Gom, McHaley, and Sullivan on the high lane trying to go somewhere with it. Looks like they're starting to get separated out away from these guys a little bit, with the 7 of Kenneth Pikus in the middle of it. Gom's going to clear them, or clear the 7 car, and they're going to try and drive forward a little bit more. So there might be something to that middle lane that we're just not seeing right now. Back to the front, though. It's all Chris Yankee and Trev Questenberry out in front. Now, if you're Cale Spicer, you're sitting there saving some fuel. I would be kind of just playing some games with it, right? Like, save as much fuel as you can. Don't burn up the tire if you can help it, and try to drive forward. I see we got Mr. Stambaugh in the chat as well. I think he's hanging out with Conley. I think they're both too scared. Yankee's going to lead that one. He finally gets clear of Questenberry, as it looks like Cale's going to try to maybe go to the inside of him. I wonder if Treb maybe hung out on that middle lane too long, and now he doesn't have the tire. He's going to cut Clapper off. Now you're starting to see it single file out. You got a few guys that are still below, but not too many. Let's see if we can find some other stuff going around. You get the 17 of Stoker hanging to the outside. He's going to single file out right in front of Connor Walbeck. And then you've got CJ Clark, I believe that is, to the outside of Tyler Hampton. Ben Forrester trying to make it through. He wants to make a payout for these guys. You know, James Conley said plus 450 if Ben Forrester wins tonight. Connor Walbeck going to look to the inside of the 17. Thinks better of it. We got a little bit of a battle back here with Aiden Haller, Ben Forrester, Corey Cook. Forrester going to go way up the track. See if he can't get a run down the backstretch, maybe. And they're all single filed out. We got the 12 car. I'm not sure who that was that just blinked out. It's Kohler McGillen that keeps blinking in and out. Then you've got John Burris and Bradley James, the back of the, what I would call the first group. And then Tom Gom leading the charge of everybody from the back. Joe Sullivan, JD McHaley in there. Who else do we got? Ian Lane, Craig Marty. Pikus has dropped off to 21st. And Bryce Dickman all the way at the back. But all your leaders are sitting single file as can be at the moment. I just saw Winkelspec was kind of out of line there. Ooh, Aiden Haller catches the wall. It's going to let Corey Cook and company drive on by. John Burris going to use that apron, see if he can't get a better drive across the front stretch. Corey Cook up high that time. Ben Forrester, though, only sitting in about 9th position. He's going to have to get something going unless he's clutching. I don't think he is, but it'd be kind of crazy to try to clutch around here. Looks like we had a pretty big gaggle of things back here with Tom and everybody else. Still trying to get forward. Joe Sullivan looking to the inside. Almost a 3-wide situation there for about 16th position. The Gominator not in his usual black and silver. This paint scheme something that is near and dear to his heart. Go back to the front here for a little bit. As Yankee's in control of the whole thing, Connor Wolbeck kind of looking around, trying to find something different, it looked like. Let's go off the roll bar of that car for a minute, so you can see what's going on. You could hear the tires just... It sounds like a cheese grater's going at them. You could tell it very, very loose as he rolls through 3 and 4 there. You can watch the wheel back and forth. So these guys are in for a long... If this thing stays green, it's going to be a rough one for them. I'll say that. I see John Burris was still trying to use some interesting lines. Corey Cook all the way up the track in 1 and 2. I don't know if he's trying to run the wall to try to get better drive. Looks like he's trying to go around Ben Forrester here, and I think he's going to complete it if he can make it work through 3 and 4, but it looks like he just slides so much on entry. Door to door with Ben Forrester for 9th position, and he's going to get the run on CJ Clark a little bit here too. He's got nowhere to go with it right now. I don't know if that's going to be the play. I think he's going to burn too much of that right rear off by the time he's into a decent position there. And I just saw somebody go around. That was... Oh, no! Ian Lane and Tom Gom. Let's go back and check that out. Not really sure... Let's go from a blimp view and see what happened. Looked like a Gominator might have pushed up. Yep, it just pushes on exit. He gets into the 12, and then Bryce gets into the back of Tom, and that's what takes the front off of Tom's car. So hopefully not a lot of damage for these guys, but they've got enough, that's for sure. So that's caution number 1 of the night, and we're about 23 laps in. I gotta wonder if you're gonna see some of these guys come down, maybe take a set of tires here. We'll get the let's get our race recap up so far. Yeah, so 24 laps in the books. Chris Yankee, your leader. 1 caution, 3 lead changes so far tonight. And you got everybody coming down, but Ben Forrester has elected to stay out along with Corey Cook. Interesting. Let's see what these guys decide to do. How many of these guys are going to take tires? I don't think it could go either way. Oh yeah, there's a lot of guys. You see the sides on the cars coming up. Clapper taking 2. A lot of guys just taking 2. Interesting calls here. This interests me a lot. I mean, I've seen Ben skip tires before and think that he's going to make it, and then it goes sideways. So we'll see how this plays out. It could work, it could not. Just kind of depends. Got Tom Gom still sitting on pit road. He's at least got a nose back on it. So the 3 cars that were involved all sitting there still. Tom going to try and take a little bit extra. Maybe he's going to take a lap right now. I think that's what he's going to do. Ben Forrester on pit road, so that'll cycle Ben to the back. And that makes Corey Cook your leader. So Tom going to go a lap down here. I imagine we'll see him roll very shortly. The other 2, Ian Lane, he's at least got a front end. Dickman's got most of his body parts as well, so that's good. So right now, Tom's going to hope that he can at least stay on the lead lap, not go another lap down and get a lucky dog here later on in the race. Yep, I see Tom rolling on the track map. So Corey Cook going to bring us to the green flag. He's got Kirk Clapper, Aiden Haller, John Burris, Cale Spicer, your top 5. Chris Yonke, Connor Walbeck, Tyler Hampton, Trev Questenberry, CJ Clark, your top 10. Pace car is going to duck off when it gets out of turn number 4 here. Barney's got the green flag in the air. Barney, your flag's in the way. We can't see. And we're green flag racing. I see a lot of blocks being thrown already. Questenberry blocked CJ Clark there. So Corey Cook's going to try to get away as fast as he can, but I think you're going to see Clapper and Haller go whizzing around fairly quickly as we see Cale Spicer just moving through the field. John Burris trying to come with him. Spicer going to look to the inside of Haller. He's going to make the pass. Aiden didn't even try to fight him. And it looked like Clapper kind of just gave him the room too. So this might be exactly what Tom Gom wanted to see, is kind of a mix-up of things and stuff to just go sideways, because we're seeing a lot of mixing going on right now as we kind of look at Connor Walbeck. We're too wide behind Spicer most of the way back. So this could go bad, and I mean, you see Clapper and Haller just dropping. I wondered if it was going to be a missed call. Joe Sullivan making his way through. He's 3 wide up the middle. He says, see you later. Very interesting mix of racing going on right now. As you see the guys that took 2 tires just falling off the face of the earth, really. And Cale Spicer's taking the lead from Corey Cook. I think we all kind of saw that coming. Cook not taking tires. It may work out for him. It may not. We'll see how much he falls here shortly. And go back to the pack a little bit more. It's now started to single file out. I think you're seeing a lot of aggression the first like 2-3 laps, and then it all kind of just fizzles out and everybody kind of settles in and rides. But I see Yonke looking to the inside of Corey Cook. We're going to see Connor Walbeck go by him as well. I'm sure we'll see Treb make that pass here fairly shortly. Ooh, Corey not with a lot of room there as Treb tries to go by on the bottom. Top 5 single filed out. We got to go back to Joe Sullivan to see what's going on. Joe Sullivan and Corey Cook fought for the WNIS Division II championship. So Joe looking to get some retribution there. Corey continues to fall. Bradley James going to shove it 3 wide into 1. So Corey continues to bleed spots, but he's got 2 sets on the wall. So if we get a couple of cautions, this could flip script a little bit. Bradley James trying to make his way forward. He's going to go around Tyler Hampton here, see if he can't get the 17 of Stoker. He's going to stick to the outside. We'll see how long he can make it work. He's almost to the back door. Joe Sullivan. Spicer, Yankee, Walbeck, Questenberry, Winklespec, your top 5. Biggest mover of the race right now is Winklespec in the 6 car. It's actually in the 24 on your screen. James still trying to make it work. He's way loose out of 4. He's going to try to the outside of Joe Sullivan at this point. Sullivan going to give him a little bit of room. I just don't know if James is going to have tire. We saw Corey Cook try this earlier. It went good for a while until the wheels kind of come off of it. That's why I was kind of shocked that Corey decided to stay out. He ran that outside for quite a while. And right now he's fallen all the way back to 13th position. Tom Gom hoping for a caution. He's rolling down into turns 3 and 4 right now. And he needs these guys to have a caution sooner rather than later. Joe Sullivan going to stay with Winklespec. Cale Spicer gives up the lead. He's going to let Yankee try to go out in front. Connor Walbeck going to try to go around him on the bottom side. I'm still amazed at how tight the racing is so far tonight. I kind of figured it would stretch out a little bit more, go a little bit more single file. We've seen a lot of 2x2 racing as we see Bradley James making the high lane work. He's all the way up to 5th position, and he's going to try to go after Trev Questenberry as well. Questenberry going to hold the bottom. I think James has made it around him. Yep, he's pretty much clear of him almost. And Connor Walbeck going to try for the lead under Yankee. Looks like Connor might have learned something from last night's race. We'll see how long this plays out, but now we have Connor Walbeck to the lead in the 5 car. Coming back to look at Bradley James. He's got the 17 of Alex Stoker in tow and Joe Sullivan. They're going to try and go around Questenberry on the high side. James has cleared him. Stoker's close. Sullivan's still trying to get there. Stoker's cleared him. Sullivan going to try to have the run coming off. And I think at this point, I think James been pinned, or not James, Questenberry's been pinned down enough. He didn't have enough tire left. As we see James trying to go around the outside of Cale Spicer now. Again, how long is the high lane going to last? I don't think it's going to last as long as one would think. At this point, all these guys should be good on fuel, so it's just a matter of how long are the tires going to last. And Cale Spicer takes 3rd position back from James. You can see James starting to get loose. Are we starting to see heat come into those tires? And that's what's causing an issue. Joe Sullivan around the outside of the 17 car. He's going to have to clear James at some point to try to have a run at moving forward, because I think what's going to happen is you're going to see James stall out at some point. Walbeck, Yankee, Spicer, James, and Sullivan, your top 5. Single filed out for the moment. James going to try to go on the attack against Spicer again. 2 wide down the backstretch. Spicer going to go to the inside of Yankee. Not quite halfway into this race yet. We're only 40 laps in. You see James get a little loose off of turn number 4. Wolbeck continues to lead, but it looks like Yankee might try to go to the inside and take it back from him. James trying to make it work all on his lonesome out there on the outside. He gives Yankee a shot down into turn number 3. Yankee going to go to the inside of Wolbeck. I think Connor's going to have the drive as he comes off of turn number 4. Oh, they door. They're looking 3 wide. James to the outside. He's loose. He keeps it rolling, but how much longer can James keep driving it like that until the right rear is gone? James going to have a run off of turn number 2. He's up past Wolbeck, 3 wide down into turn number 3. James all the way up the track. He's in the wall. That's going to slow him down just a little bit, but he'll have a drive off of turn number 4. Wolbeck blocks it. Still 2x2 for second place. James going to run it to the high side. He's way up there in the marbles. Wolbeck going to block his run again. James back into the wall. Everything going to settle down for just a little bit here. As they start to close in a lap car, Tom Gom. You'll see Tom as the camera rotates around. Just headed out of turn number 2 there. He's looking for a caution. Connor going to stop the advance of James again. Spicer and Wolbeck have basically got the 14 blocked in as best they can. James is going to mail it to the outside this time. Can he get clear of Connor before they come off of turn 4? So far, yes, 3 wide at the stripe. And Yankee's just watching the rearview mirror like, my God, what is happening? James back all the way up the track again. Connor running tight to Spicer. 3 wide as we come off of turn number 2. We're only halfway in. These guys are driving like it's the last lap. James is going to try and make the wall work. I think he's going to run out of tire before the race is over. Oh, he's loose on the high lane. I think there's a lot of guys wondering how long before the 14 slides out in one of these turns. Sullivan going to try and make the high lane work. Lap car Tom Gom going to stay high. So now Tom, the only car any laps down, just needs a caution without getting touched. That did let the pack kind of sift out a little bit. We're going to see how much longer this continues to go before we see caution number 2. James trying to go around Cale Spicer here. Still 2 wide as we cross the start-finish line. Ooh, James pops the wall on entrance into 1. Doesn't really slow him down too much, but you saw that car just rock right over. Still side by side. Cale's going to drift up a little bit. James going to try to pinch him down. Joe Sullivan all the way up to 5th position. I see Eric Winkle Specs still sit back there, about the 8th position in that Rainbow Warriors DuPont car. James finally giving up on that high lane for a little bit. Maybe he's going to let the tires cool down, see if he can't try to go back after him after a couple of laps. Now that we got that all cleared up, let's go back here to the second group. We've got Bryce Dickman leading, JD McKaylee, Brandon Barnes, Nick Barton, Corey Cook, Kirk Clapper, Ben Forrester, all the way back here in 20th position by himself, which is really uncharacteristic for him. So have to keep an eye on that. Joe Sullivan going to go around the bottom side of Connor Wallback. We head off into turn number 3. The top 3 starting to get away a little bit as they've got everybody kind of racing behind them. Go back here. See the 17th of Stoke are going to try to go around the outside of Joe Sullivan. Not sure if Joe used up his tires just a little too much early on in that run. '17 up the track a little bit. Gonna let Joe Sullivan go on by. It sounds like somebody is blinking. I think it's the 12 car has been blinking terribly. Mr. Conley is very upset that he hears his name, but it's not him. Oh, man. So 17 is went from about 5th, 6th position, dropped all the way to 10th now. You've got CJ Clark going to go underneath him 3 wide in turn number 2. Go back to the front. It's all Chris Yankee out in front with Cale Spicer in tow. Bradley James is running that high lane again. I don't know if it's going to work the way that he thinks it's going to, because it looks like he's just kind of losing touch with those guys every time he pulls up to the top. He catches on entry and then he starts to lose from about mid-corner off is what I'm seeing until right at exit. Go back a little bit further. Connor Wallback going to get passed by Eric Winklespec here. This is going to let Joe Sullivan and Winklespec try to go after your leaders. Oh, Questenberry loose off of turn number 4. He hangs on to it. Yeah, 12 is blinking terribly. Winklespec going to go to the inside of Joe Sullivan. He's going to tuck back. No. Winklespec going to stay to the bottom. See if he can't get around Sullivan still. Corey Cook is stating that the car is very, very slick on 55 lap old tires. Remember, he did not pit at that last pit stop. Or at that first caution, I should say. As we go back to Joe Sullivan right now and Eric Winklespec. James, as I said, he's starting to lose touch with your leaders the more he tries to run that high lane. He's not dropping off of them, but he's not staying consistently right there with them. You see, he's starting to get loose off the exit. And I think what you're seeing when he... Oh, we got something going on in the back. They saved it. Take a look at that real quick. This is the 23 and the 16. I don't know how they kept it green, but they kept it green. Treb actually stayed going pretty good. He sits in 10th. Connor back to 11th right now. We'll go back up to Joe Sullivan and everybody else. Ooh, James was a little loose through the tri-oval that time. Maybe we're starting to see the tires go out on that 14 car. But he is committed to that high lane. Spicer looks to the inside of Yankee. He's going to take it over. I kind of got to wonder if Yankee didn't just roll over so that way he could maybe ride behind Kale, save some tire. Just about 30 to go in this race. These boys are getting definitely stretched out at this point. Starting to see the front pack break apart even more. James is falling back to 0.4 off your leader. He's going to try and drive it back to him again. Winkelspec starting to come into view. I think he's just kind of biding his time a little bit. Joe Sullivan starting to catch up to that group as well. You can see Winkelspec's actually going to start to look to the inside of James here pretty quickly, I would think. As James continues to run the outside on both ends of the speedway. JD McHaley getting a little loose. Uh-oh. Well, he's got some wheel damage on that car. Come back up front. You see Winkelspec is starting to close in on your leaders. I think it's just a matter of time before the second group catches the lead group. The question is when's that going to happen? Winkelspec going to dive it to the bottom, and he's closing on James rather rapidly. Him and Sullivan have stayed in line quite a bit. Uh-oh, we've got Tom Gom crashed on the backstretch. I think he just kind of lost it back there. It was to the inside, so we should stay green. Oh, James smacks the wall hard. That's probably going to give that car some wheel damage. He is very loose on corner exit. I don't know if I'd want to be to the outside of him right now. Oh, we got the cautions out. I do believe this is going to be from JD McHaley. Go. Oh, it look like JD just kind of come in a little too hot. Oh, does he keep it off the wall? He does. So nice save from JD in the Exterminator Gadget Mobile. I got a lot to say about that one. Bradley James kind of getting a godsend there as he was starting to get pretty loose. So we're going to catch a pace car here. We're going to be lap 64. We'll put up the race recap right now. So lap 64, Chris Yankee, your leader. 2 cautions tonight so far. Pretty clean. 9 lead changes. But I got to imagine you're going to see a whole lot of guys come in for some new shoes at this point. So they're going to come in for some new shoes. I'm going to take a break myself. We'll be back on the other side of it. Oh, Bryce Dickman missed pit road. My God. Hopefully he'll be able to pit next time around. But we'll be back on the other side of this. Gary, don't even think about it. All righty. Well, we'll see if Bryce Dickman is going to be able to pit here. Yep, he was able to get down to pit road this time. I think he just come around way too hot. Interesting thing to note, Bradley James comes out in the lead with a 21-second pit stop. I'm surprised he didn't wind up with like some wheel damage or something. That's a pretty quick pit stop. So we'll see if he can hang on to him. As we're going to have a little under 25 laps to go to the finish here. Dickman trying to get some damage fixed on this lap. All right, so Bradley James going to bring us to the start. Winkle specced up to second. Yankee in third. Sullivan fourth. Kale Spicer sits fifth. So pretty decent little shakeup here. Barney's going to wave the green flag. We'll get this show back on the road. And we're underway. And you see a lot of guys moving already. 3 wide back by Connor Wallback. He's just going to run it right up the inside. A lot of these guys trying to get around that 12 car that is blinking terribly. Back out front, Bradley James going to lead out of turn number 4. Winkle Speck going to try and chase him down. Corn, that's not 87's. We don't care. Kale Spicer going to go to the inside of Yankee. Yankee all the way up the track. Sullivan's still sitting in about 5th position. I gotta imagine you're going to see these guys start to kind of turn it up a little bit. Just with the limited amount of laps left, what are they going to try? Spicer looks to the inside of Yankee. He's around him. He's going to try to set off after Winklespec. They're going to try just running the high lane, I think. Whoa, Yankee going to go back to the outside of Spicer. He doubles down on him. Kale going to wheel it to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. Still side by side off of turn number 4. Bradley James out in front. We're going to try and make this high lane work, I guess. I find it interesting. James was running the high lane when he was behind, but now he's running the low lane now that he's leading. Spicer up the track. James out in front. Do they kind of let James hot lap it and pray that he burns them up by the time that they get to him with maybe 10 to go? Kale going to come back to Yankee. Yankee going to throw a block. Kale to the bottom side. Kale going to mail it in on the bottom. Yankee going to go to the top. Kale's going to slide up a little bit, force Yankee back to the bottom. Yankee's going to go to the bottom out of turn number 4. Now we've got a battle heating up for the lead between James and Winklespec. Yankee going to cut in front of Kale. James up the track. Winklespec to the bottom. Does Winklespec take over the lead? He's going to get him tight coming off of turn number 2. Everybody with James right now, but Winklespec going to dive it back to the bottom. Dead even as we get ready to come off of turn number 4, but James is going to have the run. Oh, he smacks the wall. That's going to allow for a 3-wide battle for first. Winkle Spec throws the block. Down into turn number 1 we go. Kale Spicer to the bottom this time. Spicer going to try to make the bottom work now. He's going to throw the block on James. James is going to go to the bottom. He's going to make James burn up those tires one way or another. Kale on the high lane. The question is he playing games with these guys or what's the deal? Kale gets the wall a little bit, lets it use the banking to get the drive. James is going to come all the way down and almost slide up into Kale's door. We got a race on our hands, guys. Side by side for the lead with Yankee and Winkle Spec. James and Kale make contact. Kale gonna clear James this time. Yankee to the inside of Winkle Spec. Yankee takes that lap. Man, the top 4 are just going after it right now. I see Joe Sullivan creeping into this show too. Kale to the second. Underneath Winkle Spec. He's going to let it drift up. Winkle Spec is going to probably drive underneath him. As we come off of turn number 4, Kale's going to get a little wall just a little bit. Whoa! James just mails it to the outside in the tri-oval. Kale's going to run the midline. See what he can do with that. 15 to go. James gets the wall. Joe Sullivan has caught this group. We'll see what Joe does with it. Yankee, Winkle Spec, Spicer, your top 3. Bradley, James, Joe Sullivan, your top 5. Kale to the inside of Winkle Spec. He's going to take over the second position. Yankee continues to lead. Winkle Spec going to make the bottom work. He's going to come back to Kale's bumper, but not quite to his door. Top 5 have broken away. Then you got Pekas, Clark, Questenberry, Clapper, Cook, Wallbeck in this next group, and they're a little stretched out. Back to the battle for the front. 13 laps to go. Winkle Spec to the bottom. Kale and Yankee working the top. Question is does Kale have enough tire right now? They're starting to put a little bit of space on Eric. Oh, and James just smacks the crap out of the wall there off of turn number 2. Remember, James didn't take damage repair that last time either, so I'm curious to know, did it tighten the car up or did it loosen the car? We see a little bit of nose damage on Joe Sullivan's vehicle as well, and that's letting these guys close back in. So I wonder if the wind kind of bit him, and James up in the wall again. Your early leader from pit, the wheels are starting to fall off at this point. I see the 7 car diving to the inside of Joe Sullivan. That's Pekas. See if he can clear Joe. It looks like he may off of turn number 4 here. Oh, and he gets into the door of Sullivan. CJ Clark gonna door Sullivan out of the way as well. I don't think Joe's gonna take too kindly to that. Especially when you get it twice in the same corner. So this is a battle for like 4th, 5th, 6th right now. I almost got to... Oh, yep, there's James sideways. Does he... Wow! That was a save. I can't believe that James saved that. He was way sideways. Up to the front. Yankee out in front. Winkelspec, Spicer. Kale's going to come back on him on the inside. I almost feel like Kale's messing with these guys at this point. Many times I've watched him go way high and then dive it back underneath. Your top 3, throw a blanket over them. 7 laps to go and we hit the line next time by. These guys are all trying to pull back up to Winkelspec. They're trying to make something happen. Then it's like an angry hornet's nest behind them. But now you can see your leaders all on the high lane as they get ready to put Ian Lane a lap down. Hale gonna look to the inside of Yankee. Remember, if we get within 4 laps at the end, caution comes out, race is over. So Kale's gonna have to make his move before that point, or otherwise there's a shot that it may end under caution. So Kale looking to the inside already. He lets it roll the bottom. Side by side down the backstretch. You see Ian Lane pull to the bottom to get out of the way. Good on him to make sure that the racing stays clean. Spicer and Yankee side by side. Winkelspec just looking, waiting for a mistake out of one of these two. Kale gonna drift it all the way to the wall. Yankee gonna look back underneath him as we come off of turn number 2. 5 laps to go. Actually, about 4.5 at this point. Kale gets loose off of turn number 2. Back to the bottom and then drifted up to the wall. Yankee gonna try to shove it in between. Yankee gets the wall in turn number 2. He keeps it rolling, but he's still in it. Something's going on. I think we're going to see a caution, possibly. I've got Ben Forrester off the track. Not sure what happened there. We stay green. Back to the front. Spicer leads. Winkelspec in second, with Yankee now in third. Coming into 3 to go when we cross the line. I kind of wonder if Yankee didn't get a little bit of wheel damage off of the wall. Winkelspec going to try to... Oh, caution's out. And that's going to be the race. I'm not really sure. I thought I saw Tom stopped. Oh, what the? Not sure what that was about. I also want to come back and look and see what happened back here. Oh. A lot of guys getting loose and almost wrecking. But we're going to come to the white flag under caution. So like I said, he drove it exactly how you needed to. He put it where it needed to when it counted, when the caution came out. So we'll roll around under caution here for the final lap. I mean, overall, this looks like a really fun package this week. I haven't had a chance to race it myself, but it definitely looks challenging. It looks fun, and the racing looks awesome. I think, you know, for once, between the setup and the weather, I think they hit it pretty spot on, as we saw a lot of two wide racing in that whole thing. I don't hear a lot of hostility on the radio, so that's a good thing, especially after last week's race. Although I hear some poking at people. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, I mean, the leaders had one hell of a race all race, and even most of the way back through the field, it was 2x2x2 for quite a bit of it. So we'll let these guys cross the start finish line. We'll get the results up on screen. I do believe that's going to leave Yankee with the points lead still. I don't think anybody was close enough to steal anything away from him. So congrats to Mr. Spicer on the win. I'm just waiting for everybody to cross the line here so I can pull results up. We're going to get some things off screen. And as soon as the results pop, there we go. Get those up. So Cale Spicer going to come home the winner tonight. Eric Winkelspect going to finish second. Chris Yankees third. Kenneth Pikus is fourth. CJ Clark fifth. Kurt Clapper sixth. Trev Questenberry seventh. Corey Cook eighth. Joe Sullivan is ninth. Kohler McGillen is 10th. And then rounding out the rest of the field, you've got Barnes, James, Marty, Martin, Walbeck, Burris, Forrester, Haller. Move it back a little bit further. You've got Stoker, McHaley, Hampton, Dickman, Lane, and Gom. So, you know, like I said, it was pretty damn good racing all night long. Kind of shocked that we ended on a caution there. I figured we were going to have just the two, but it is what it is. You know, that's it for oval racing, at least through next week. Next week, we've got Willow Springs, which is the road course for the season. So we'll have that broadcasted on Tuesday night at 9:30 next week. Don't forget to tune in for that. Outside of that, everybody have a great night. We may be live at some point this weekend. We'll see. I've been struggling wanting to stream racing, so that's a whole other thing. But outside of that, guys, have a good night. Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you again here on next Tuesday night.